They seem to like pick it and stuff. Just get the like in it. Perfect. And I'll get all this stuff out of here. I'll move it over there. Piper, Piper! Piper, you're going to the bathroom? That's wrong. It actually smells bad too. That's nice, huh?
Where's this?
Just wherever. Yeah, that's fine. You know, you can always go on the other side too. Just use the other thing over there. Right there? Yep. We're outside in the high tunnel on this brisk morning. Today we've got some projects planned, and over the course of the next few days. This is kind of an interesting time. It's a transition from winter to spring into summer. So we have some things that we are setting up and things that we're taking down. We're first working on our high tunnel. We've had it for 2 years. It was its second winter, and a lot of the gravel that we put along the bottom has actually kind of settled down or washed away with rain. So we are going to be adding that back up, filling it in, and making sure that we don't have drafts coming in the bottom of the high tunnel. Let's head outside and I can show you a better look of what I'm talking about. So when we were designing this was kind of our first time with the high tunnel. It's definitely not like a perfect plan, although we are really happy with it. And we put this pit fill is what it's called. So it's a mixture of smaller rocks with big rocks. We put it all along the edge. It's worked out pretty well. We've decided we're going to push it through to the inside of the high tunnel and make sure it's all covered with the new gravel we have. These rocks are a nightmare with our snow blower, so I have to be super careful not to hit any of those. The plastic is still holding up good. I had a few little nicks this winter, so there are a few little teeny tiny holes that Eric and I are going to be taping up, but otherwise it's looking really good. Hey, I think we already have enough gravel. Well, this is coming along pretty nicely. The high tunnel should settle down a little bit too. There is a little bit of like frost heaving that happens with it, so it does get squished out of the ground a little bit in winter. Originally, when we designed this, we left this whole back area for some sort of heating component, and we've given a lot of thought to that, and I just don't think that that's something we're going to be doing anytime soon, maybe even not at all in the future. So we're going to build a cute little raised bed here, a small bed for some of our basil, and then we're also going to be adding a little bit of dirt so I can grow a little bit more with the rows. This side just needs a little bit more gravel, and then we have some work to do on the front post.
We're all done putting the gravel around the inside of the greenhouse, and we're moving on to working with this post right here. And as you can tell, it has frost heaved, and what that is when the ground freezes, it kind of pushes things up. In Oregon, we were just completely used to putting everything in with concrete. Here, slowly we've learned not to use concrete. Now we just put our poles directly in the ground and we don't get any frost heaving. So we're gonna fix this one. With the snow melt off we've been having and this thing raising up, was like a tunnel of water just going down in this thing. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the sledgehammer, I'm gonna try to knock off some of this concrete, kind of dig it out underneath, and then fill it in with some gravel. Yeah, they're just right there. There it goes. And we found here digging holes, especially when it's still cold out, the frost actually, or the ground freezes like 4 to 6 feet down into the earth. So if you don't want to get frost heaving, you need to dig really deep. But yeah, this concrete came out of here really easy. So hopefully we'll get this thing to settle down in there a little more. It was kind of cockeyed a little and the door wasn't really closing the way it should. Well, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. I think we had like a 6 or 8 inch gap up there. And hopefully as the ground thaws out, this thing will kind of settle in a little bit more. It's kind of hard to tell just by looking at it, but this greenhouse is sitting up a little bit higher than it usually does. It's kind of crazy, but it'll actually, when the ground thaws, it'll actually kind of sink down into the ground. So we're gonna get some gravel put in this hole.
Gosh, how heavy do you think that is? That looks good, man.
We're done with the high tunnel for now. We're gonna see if we can get our water tank set up for the year, and we're gonna relocate this little birdhouse because it's in the way.
Grab a wallet?
We're gonna need to grab them all, yeah.
I don't think you need much. I was saying right there. Grab it with you.
Yeah, right? Good?
That ice is like slipping right. That's good. It doesn't have me up that high, so we're not going to use gravity that much.
It did help with the gravity though.
Can I make it straight with the garden fence?
Sure.
Just a little.
Beat.
Oh no, do you want to go over this side? I'll walk with you. It's around. It's not meant to be like moved. Just stay stacked with structure to you.
There, it's good right there.
It's good center this way. I mean, center the other way.
Got the water tank over here. It's hooking up our hose and it's time to fill her up. I think this is 325 gallons, so it takes about 50 minutes, I think, to fill this thing up. Dirty.
Our water tank is almost done filling up. We are bringing out our plants to the high tunnel for the day. We still have freezing weather at night, so it is not appropriate to leave all of them out quite yet. So it does make for tedious work bringing them back to and fro. As you can tell behind me, the new gravel we put in is already working. It's nice and steamy in there, so we're gonna head in.
Oh, it's way moist in here.
Can you tell the difference?
Yeah.
It's
Hold
like,
on. Heat a lot better.
oh, you're doing that?
So last year we invested in about, I think it was 60 yards of gravel, and it made a huge difference around here. We haven't had really any mud. We do have a couple spots like this that we need more gravel, obviously, but we're gonna grab a couple things and we're gonna head over to the chicken coop.
So the inevitable happened. We have chickens that have gone broody. We went like a full month and we were like, they're not gonna go broody this year, right? Because we'd been pulling all the eggs. This is what a broody chicken looks like. We're adding back in our, we call them kind of like brooder boxes. They were really for the moms when we wanted to hatch out some chicks, but we also found that they're useful for breaking chickens. Really all that means is you put them in an area where they don't have nesting material, and eventually after like day 3, with food and water of course, you will break their broodiness. So we're bringing that box in and it fits right here underneath the nesting boxes.
I think you gotta go in first.
Yeah,
That blue tub right
I didn't think it took up the whole space.
Well, we have more than 3 broody chickens, so we're gonna pick the 3 that are most broody because we got 3 cages. Got some water in there for them. We're gonna give them some food. I know that one has been a real problem, so we're gonna grab her. Okay, sorry little lady. Get in there, get in there, get in there. And we're just trying to make it, sounds kind of cruel, but we want to make it uncomfortable for them in there. We don't want any nesting material, so there's just plywood. There's obviously no eggs in there, and hopefully that's gonna snap her out of it. We'll get her a little bit of food. This one was the one that's coming in. She's one. So this one is definitely broody. This is one that hatched out chicks last year. She's really puffing up on us. So she's a screamer. She's gonna go in there. Hey, come on, get out of there. You're going in, sorry. Oh, maybe not. So it's not too big of a deal. Having to break the chickens is more of kind of like an inconvenience, but that's the thing about the Icelandic breed of chickens. They do go broody, which is good if you want to hatch out your own chicks. We have more than enough chickens right now, so we don't want to hatch out any chicks this year. So we're giving them a little fermented chicken feed. Keep them happy. Stay in there, girl. There you go. There you go. We're trying to decide which other chicken we want to put in the cage. I think it's either gonna be this one or that one. This is our meanest chicken. She is just extremely mean. She attacks you. But I'm gonna put them on the ground, and a broody chicken will kind of lay there on the ground. One that's not broody will kind of get up and walk away. So let's see what they do. I think we're gonna take this the black Jersey Giant. She's definitely broody. She's the one. She hatched out little chicks last year, so she's trying to do it again. That one is too, but we don't have an extra cage. All right, girl, you're going in. There you go. So hopefully in a few days these chickens will be broken, and if we have some more broody ones, we'll throw those also in the cages. Give me those eggs. God, you're mean. Oh, there's none under. Oh, gosh.
Collecting the eggs a few times a day seems to help because the chickens don't have anything to sit on, but we found the same chickens that were moms in the past have a really strong instinct to continue to be moms in the future. While we're out here, we're implementing a few changes to the chicken run. A lot of the snow has melted, so it's opened up a lot for them. They can now go back there and scratch around in the leaves and all that stuff. We've got their waterers out here. We don't have to worry about those freezing anymore. We're also gonna spread some of the hay that we used to protect underneath the coop. We want that to get some better ventilation and address any sort of mud issues we're having in here. This chicken never goes dirty. She doesn't. Look at those mold spores. Oh no, that's Fost. Look at all the cool stuff they have to like look at.
Oh, they love it. They're ungrateful, but they love it.
They're still fighting over that bed.
So I think having these chickens here for 2 years, we've pretty much nailed down a really good, kind of safe, easy setup for them. The poultry netting we put up has been awesome. We didn't have a single hawk attack last year compared to the first year, where it seemed like we were having at least one a week. It's been great. So these chickens are living the good life out here. They're excited for summer.
Any good? Still got a bunch?
They're still half full. That's half full.
We'll just wait on them then.
Could just wait.
Are they eating it pretty well?
Oh yeah, they're all around this one. This one needs some.
Our 3 beehives are off to a really good start this year. It's been unusually warm and working out very much in their favor. They've been collecting pollen and all 3 queens are laying, so I'm thinking it's going to be a really good summer for them. Frozen a little, huh?
Yeah. We're out in the orchard this morning and the snow is just about gone. It's actually hard to believe that there was about this much snow out here just 3 weeks ago. We're just going around and we're fixing a couple broken branches on our little fruit trees.
Unfortunately, a few of the trees broke some entire limbs, which is never good. A few of them actually broke off right at the trunk. So that's kind of a bad thing because then the tree itself, we have to worry about infection. And now that they're breaking out of dormancy, they're gonna be coming alive a little bit more and have their sap flowing through them. So Eric and I went ahead and covered them up with some beeswax. We called the place that we got our trees from and that's what they advised us to do, and it'll most likely work. Other than that, the trees, we have 7 fruit trees in here. They actually are all looking pretty good. They're forming buds, so I think they did all over winter. No vole damage from the protection that Eric set them up for, so that's really awesome. What had happened was I was getting in here getting a lot of the snow early in the season, but in March we had some heavy snow and we did not come in here that last snowstorm. So the snow, like Eric was saying, was up really high and it was above these branches, and as it got wet and heavier, it just kind of broke a few of them. Sad to say. The whole row along the back is where we had some perennial flowers and herbs, and those are looking really good. I think a lot of those are breaking out of dormancy already, so I'm thinking that those are going to be pretty good. I want to plant quite a few more flowers for the bees this year there. Today we are headed off to pick up some compost for the high tunnel. We made it back with our compost. We picked up some aged manure or partially aged horse manure, which is totally fine because we are not ready to put it in our garden yet. We still have quite a bit of snow, and we actually want to mix this with some topsoil before we put it in our high tunnel. This is awesome stuff. We're happy to have it, and we just have one more thing planned for today.
We've got the 6-wheeler loaded down with some firewood, and primarily our woodshed is stocked with white spruce, and this wood's really good because there's a lot of it here, and it is standing dead beetle kill. And what that means is you can basically cut this stuff down, you can burn it. It's super lightweight, burns pretty good. We usually always use this, but mostly what we have in the trailer is wood that we cut down when we were clearing the driveway at our other property, and about 90% of it is birch. And this stuff is not dead, so it's very heavy. It has not been seasoned. It's been sitting since about the fall. You can already tell it's kind of splitting in there, and it's starting to dry up a little bit for us. It was sitting over by our Connex, and we finally have the room in here that we can bring it over here to finish seasoning it, and hopefully we can use it this winter. We probably have about 1.5 cords, so we're going to be stacking that in the woodshed. So the difference between burning the birch and the spruce is the birch burns a lot longer and a lot hotter. It's pretty much the hardwood that we have up here. So this is like the best wood you can get where we live up here in Alaska. Our woodshed holds about 8 cords, maybe a little over. And that side's completely full. So we got 4 cords over there. We got about 1.5 cords over here. So I think we burned about 5 cords over the winter. So it's going to be nice having all this birch to burn next winter.
here. Do we start running it long ways against these ones or no? Don't we usually start to?
Oh yeah, we did. Huh?
Yeah, right about now we usually.